Hey guys, Sak here from sakitech, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 versus the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. There are some significant changes that Samsung has implemented for the Z Fold 7 this year. And of course, people are immediately wondering what is new, what has changed, shall I upgrade, and many more questions. So in this video, that is exactly what we are going to do. We're going to do a deep dive, look at the design, the camera, and of course, one of the major categories, the display, the battery, the performance, special features, and much more to see exactly what is new with precise details. So of course, you'll get all your answers. So let's dive in and get started right away. I'm going to start by talking about the build and the design. Guys, before we dive in real quick, if you are planning to buy the Galaxy Z Fold 7, use the exclusive links below for sakitech viewers to unlock some serious perks. First, you get a free $50 Samsung credit which activates when you click the link. Get up to $150 storage upgrade credit. You can use that to double your storage for free or get a huge discount on the 1TB model. Get up to $1,000 in trading credits for your old Samsung device. And also get 30% off on Galaxy watches and buds. These are limited time exclusive offers available through the link below. There are actually many changes to the design. You can see right away the Z Fold 7 that's on the top is now a wider phone. By being wider, it also provides a noticeably wider cover display, giving it the feel of a standard smartphone when folded, which is a major improvement over the narrower, more cramped outer screen of the previous models. This is a change thousands of people have been asking for, maybe millions. Now, Fold 7 is also significantly thinner. Look at that difference. It is like day and night between the Fold 6 and the Fold 7. That makes handling the phone much more easy, which is fantastic. Now, there is some improvements to the actual build quality. The rear is the same. They both have Gorilla Glass Victus 2. On the front, the Fold 7 gets an update. It now uses Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 as opposed to Victus 2 on the Fold 6. And the frame and the hinge on the Fold 7, again, sees an upgrade. We now have advanced armor aluminum as opposed to armor aluminum. So it's going to be more durable, slightly more tough. Of course, I forgot to mention, it's also much lighter than before. So we're looking at 215 grams versus 239 grams. Both phones still retain the same IP48 water and dust resistance, and they both have stereo speakers as before. So with respect to design, the Fold 7 is a clear upgrade across the board. It's thinner, features a wider and more usable cover display, and yet manages to be lighter than before, all the while using stronger, more premium materials. Now, we already talked about the display, but I want to give you guys the specs really quickly. So the folded display on the Z Fold 7 is 6.5 inches. Versus a 6.3 on the Fold 6. They both have 2600 nits of peak brightness and 120 Hz refresh rate. When you unfold them, the Z Fold 7 gets another upgrade. The display is larger. It is 8.2 inches versus 7.6. And also it has a brand new titanium layer inside that makes it slightly more durable. You can also observe that the Fold 7 has a punch hole style selfie camera as opposed to the under display camera. Even though the punch hole has been upgraded, we're going to be talking about the camera in a minute. So again, this is a huge positive. Nobody's going to complain about larger displays inside and out. I do want to quickly talk about the pricing. The pricing on the Z Fold 7 has gone up to $1,999 for the 256 gigabyte model. The Fold 6 used to be $1,900. And in case you're wondering, here's the colors that we have. We have the blue shadow, jet black, and the silver shadow. There's also an exclusive color on Samsung.com. You can use the links down below to check that out, and that's going to be the mint color. You are going to be able to buy a 256 gigabyte, 512, or a 1TB model as usual. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras. We do have some camera upgrades across the board. Starting with the main sensor, it jumps from 50 megapixels on the Fold 6 to a powerful 200 megapixel sensor on the Fold 7. So you will get more detail and brighter shots, both in regular and low light. Now the ultra-wide camera is the same on both of these smartphones. We have 12 megapixel Fold 6 and Fold 7, but we do have a boost on the Fold 7. It is going to be 56% brighter, capturing more light and depth in wide shots. Now the telephoto camera remains the same, 10 megapixels, 3x optical on both. What about the selfie camera? So the Fold 6 has a 4 megapixel under display camera, which has been a horrible camera, criticized for poor image quality. Now that's gone. The Fold 7 is going to replace that with a 10 megapixel punch hole camera with a wider angle, which is going to match the quality of the outer selfie camera. And of course, both phones do have a 10 megapixel outer selfie camera on the cover display. Now let's quickly talk about the performance. The Fold 7 has a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. You can have it in 12 gigabytes of RAM, or if you get the 1 terabyte model, you can get 16 gigabytes of RAM. We don't have that option on the Fold 6. On the Fold 6, we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor with a maximum of 12 gigabytes of RAM. But again, when it comes to performance, just because it has that latest processor, remember, you are going to get a significant boost in performance. Now remember, this processor is 38% faster than the previous generation. When it comes to graphics, it's 26% faster than the previous generation. And when it comes to neural processing unit, which is what handles AI, it is 41% faster than the previous generation. So the performance increase is going to be a knockout. It's going to be a much faster phone than the predecessor. All right, so next up, we are going to be talking about the battery. There's a couple things to look at here. The battery capacity itself is the same as last year. We have 4,400 milliamp hours of battery. Now, some people were expecting this to go up, but it's actually interesting that it was able to remain the same despite the fact that the phone's size and weight were dramatically reduced. So it is a thinner phone, it's a lighter phone, but it still has the same battery capacity as last year. That may or may not be disappointing. When it comes to battery charging speeds, wired charging is still going to be 25 watts. Let's say your battery fully dies, you are able to go from 0 to 50% of battery life in 30 minutes. And for a full charge, it's going to be a little bit over an hour. Wireless charging is going to be the same as last year. It's going to be 15 watts wireless charging. And we're still going to have the reverse wireless charging feature where you can charge other devices or other accessories on the back of your smartphone, which is fantastic. So that's the story with the battery. There is something important you need to know. Even though the battery capacity is going to be the same, Samsung did tell me that because of some software tweaks and because of One UI 8.0 running on the Fold 7, it is still going to yield slightly longer battery life than the Fold 6. And also with the battery life, because we have the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which is a more efficient processor, that is also going to increase the battery life. You should expect at least 1 hour of extra battery life and maybe even more. So that's the battery. Let's move on and talk about the S Pen. Perhaps the most shocking change that's going to affect some people. So the S Pen is gone. They have completely removed the S Pen compatibility from the phone. I digged into the menus. If you go to the advanced features of the Fold 6, you'll see an S Pen menu. If you go to the advanced features of the Fold 7, you're no longer going to see any S Pen menus. I asked them if any S Pen is going to work on this. So just to be clear, no S Pen will be working on the Fold 7's inner display or the outer display, obviously. But the reason the S Pen was removed is because to make the phone so thin and so light, they had to physically remove the digitizer that is inside these Fold devices. So by removing that, the S Pen is gone, but the phone is much thinner, much lighter. So this is going to be very important to look at in case you are a heavy S Pen user. Now, Samsung told me that most people that have a Fold device barely touch the S Pen, and that's even if they buy one. So you can drop your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are. Guys, just a quick reminder. If you are planning to buy the Galaxy Z Fold 7, use the exclusive links below for sakitech viewers to unlock some serious perks. First, you get a free $50 Samsung credit which activates when you click the link. Get up to $150 storage upgrade credit you can use that to double your storage for free or get a huge discount on the 1 terabyte model. Get up to $1,000 in trading credits for your old Samsung device. And also get 30% off on Galaxy watches and buds. These are limited time exclusive offers available through the link below. When it comes to biometrics and security, it's all the same. So you're going to get a fingerprint sensor that's built into the power button on the side. And of course, you can use Face ID using the selfie cameras. Now with the software, the Fold 7 is going to have One UI 8.0, Fold 6 still running on the One UI 7.0. There's going to be some subtle differences, but overall, it is going to be the same experience. Powerful multitasking, powerful Galaxy AI features, all these things are still present on both devices. But the Fold 7 is going to run them better because it has a faster processor. Alright guys, so we have looked at everything and it's time for a conclusion. Do you upgrade from the Fold 6 or even the Fold 5 to the Fold 7? The answer is yes. Now let me tell you why. Because despite the S Pen sacrifice, just about everything else has improved. Here's a list of everything that has improved. We have a thinner and lighter smartphone. Very important, we have a wider cover display that makes this phone fully usable the entire time it is folded. And on top of that, when you unfold it to access the tablet, the screen is again larger. It is now 8 inches. So it's even more tablet-like when unfolded, and I cannot argue against larger displays inside and outside. That itself is a major upgrade. And then we mentioned it has a stronger build, so better build materials. We do have a new camera. It's a 200 megapixel camera with additional software and processor improvements to get you better photos. And of course, we have a phenomenal upgrade to the performance. The Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset is the top dog. And now you can get that with 16 gigabytes of RAM if you get the 1 terabyte model. So when you look at all these improvements, this is going to be a rock solid upgrade. Again, despite the S Pen sacrifice, if you want to keep the S Pen, then obviously you're not going to upgrade. But if you're the type that simply doesn't touch the S Pen, it's just there, you may not even own one, everything else on this phone has been upgraded the right way. So that is my conclusion. Yes, you should upgrade if you meet the conditions we talked about. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below and let me know. For now, guys, have a fantastic day.